All right, today we're going to talk about how to create a cold email winning strategy. There's so many emails, there's so many videos out there that talk about how to create the perfect email. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'll start with by saying there's no such thing as a perfect email. But stick around so you can find out how I break down success for cold email marketing for our clients. But first, before we jump into it, if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And feel free to share this with anybody that you think can get value from this. So let's jump into it. So there's five keys to running a successful email marketing campaign for cold leads. So number one is get clear on the audience that you're going after. So many people buy leads and they purchase contacts or they're doing advertising and they're not extremely clear on the people that they want to do business with. I mean everything. You know, the how you're going to help them solve the problem, their pain points. What do they do before they need you? What do they do after? You need to really understand that. Pretty much create a persona. If you create a persona of the people that you're targeting, you're going to be able to have a better, easier time building a relationship with them. But more importantly, you have to really understand the who they are, what do they do, what do they like, what do they dislike, and how are you going to build that relationship with that particular group of people. So that's number one. Number two, get a professional email, get a professional domain. And let me say this, this should not be a part of your main domain. That's how you get your domain blacklisted and you get yourself in trouble regarding that. That it's, you know, being blacklisted is not fun, or getting flagged for spam multiple times is not fun, especially when you're going after a cold email. So you want to de-risk that situation for yourself. And the best way to do that is buy a domain that it may sound similar to your company name, but it's not attached to your main domain. So that's one. Get a domain name that may sound similar but is different, it's separate, and get an email for that domain so you can send from. Number three is find a cold email platform that you feel comfortable with. There's tons of them out there. Mailshake, Drip, the list goes on. There are a lot of different tools out there, but make sure that you get a tool that will allow you to be able to send to cold emails. It's not going to get shut down if you run into issues regarding flag or being spam, because when you're dealing with cold emails, it's a whole nother beast than warm emails. So I'm not going to share a ton of different tools that you can use. I'll actually do that in another video where I'll break down some of my top recommendations for cold email marketing solutions. So, but the next thing is make sure that you get a cold email tool to send from. It should not be your main tool. Now, once you have that set up, the next step is deliverability. Deliverability is so important because that is the ability for your emails to reach somebody's inbox versus the spam folder or not getting delivered at all. So there's a few things that you want to do when you set up your cold email campaigns and you set up your cold email tool. And I'm going to go into those just lightly here. In another video, I actually will share the details. So SPF, DMARC, and DKIM. Those are three things that you need to think about when you are setting up a new domain and making sure that the deliverability is effective. And I'm going to break down in this video why. So the first one, SPF, Sender Policy Framework. This is basically attaching your domain to an identity. It's essentially saying you are who you say you are. It helps, with fighting against spam. This is a good idea to start with setting up your SPF records. If you don't know how to do this, it's more on the technical side, but once you get the hang of it, it can be pretty easy. If you guys would like for me to put a video together for that, just feel free to hit the like button and also write that down in the comments. So the next one is DKIM, or Domain Keys Identified Mail. This basically attaches a signature to your email. So, and I'm not talking about the signature at the bottom of your email. This attaches a signature, so every time you're sending something out, it's signing off, essentially saying you are who you say you are. So the last one is DMARC, domain based messaging, authentication, reporting, and compliance, or not compliance, conformance. This is in combination with, when you think about your DMARC, when you think about SPF, when you think about SPF, when you think about DKIM, this also is another layer of authentication, saying you are who you say you are. So being able to set up all three when you are launching a new domain is important, and I highly recommend it. You're not required to set up all three, but each one impacts in a positive way your deliverability. Okay, now that we got rid of all the technical stuff, now it's time to break into strategy. One of the things I see a lot of companies don't do is they don't have a cold email marketing strategy. And let me tell you, one great email or two great emails is not a strategy. A strategy is when you have a way of doing things that allows you to adjust and be flexible when the outcome goes or does not go your way. So you have to be creative. There has to be a plan in place. And that's one of the things I see a lot of companies struggle with, because they think having one or two emails set up is a strategy. It's not. It's one or two emails. And if the emails work great, that's awesome. But if they don't, then what do you do next? But when you think about having success with cold email marketing, your strategy needs to lay out a series of emails. And you need to have a plan to run experiments and figure out how to test subject lines. And when those subject lines work well, you need to figure out how to test the CTAs within the email, or the content, or the first line. You need to have a planned out cadence for how you're going to organize that operation. And that is and that should be based on the data and the feedback that you get from your cold leads as they interact with your content, they interact with your email. So I say that to say the strategy piece is a very critical part, but you can't have success if you don't have the first handful of steps that I covered in this video. So getting very clear on your audience, who you're targeting, I think I don't know, I can't say it enough. So you have to be clear on who you're going after. That's number one. Number two, get a professional domain. You should not be sending out from Gmail. I've seen that happen before, and you can get flagged and just shut down really quickly. 3, choose a cold email tool. You shouldn't be manually sending out a bunch of cold emails. It's not the best use of your time. And then 4 is deliverability. It's important to set up the SPF, the DMARC, the DKIM records, so you are able to get into the inboxes of your audience. And then the final thing is strategy. You have to plan out a system for how you're going to test, optimize, and improve those campaigns over time. I think if you do that, that's going to set you up for success. Now, if you do want to check out some of my recommendations on tools, cold email marketing tools, check out the next video. So I hope you liked this video. Again, if you did, hit the like and subscribe button. Feel free to share this with anybody you think will add value for. And finally, we have a quiz. For anybody who's like stuck and they're trying to figure out what they should be doing with their email marketing, take the quiz. It'll give you some insight on what you could be doing differently with your email marketing efforts. So that's all I have for today. I hope that you guys have a great week. Test some of this stuff out, and write me in the comments.